Hi, my name is Jane Greyer. I run a company called Create Ceremonies. I'm an independent or civil celebrant, which means I create and conduct unique wedding ceremonies, renewal ceremonies, and commitment ceremonies. The Glen House Hotel have given me the opportunity to explain a little bit about what I do as a celebrant, so you can see if it's something that's right for your wedding day. Couples, more and more, are looking for a way of having a unique wedding ceremony that's very personal to them, and that's where a celebrant comes in. I write ceremonies completely from scratch for each couple, telling their story, talking about their love, their relationship, and why it's important for them to be getting married at this point in time. These can be very different. Obviously, everyone's story is different, so the tone of the ceremony may be different, but for the most part, mine are relaxed, informal, and fun. I like to find ways of encouraging your guests to be involved in your ceremony and for the relevance of the ceremony to be obvious to everyone and for it to form the bedrock of your married life together. After all, the vows that you exchange on your wedding day should be the foundation of your married life. Those are the commitments that you're making to each other as you go forward. The way to manage your life together, if you like, coping with everything that happens in life together. And that's not always easy. So we start off with a ceremony that's written for you and about you. It can involve any theming that you like. So sometimes people want to have a definite theme. If you're both into Game of Thrones, for example, you might want to include that in your wedding ceremony, whether it's in a simple way in some of the clothing that people are wearing or whether it's across the whole thing. And your ceremony can reflect that as well. So in terms of the tone of the ceremony, the kind of language that I write in, everything can be in whatever theming you like. Everything that I do is focused on the couple, so it should be things that are important to you. There are lots of rituals that I can include within my ceremonies as well. So you may have come across some of them, things like the hand fasting, which is a pagan ceremony, which a lot of people have heard of. It's where the couple's hands are bound together using coloured ribbons or cords, and with each binding, the couple make a promise to each other. Each of the colours has a different significance, and they're all gifts or important things that you're bringing to your married life together. So strengths that you're bringing or that you want to develop within your relationship. And this is the ritual where tying the knot actually comes from. So it's something that's incorporated quite often in our everyday speak without people necessarily connecting with where it's come from. This can be a great ritual to include other members of the family. So you could ask your parents to select the colours for you. You could ask children if you have children to be involved in it. I quite often will do the binding and the children will be at the front with me actually binding the hands together as the couple makes promises to each other. It can be a fantastic way of involving family and friends. There are lots of opportunities of doing things in a very personal way. And certainly one of my favourites that was done at Glen Afon involved bunting, where the couple were having a vow renewal and had bunting as part of their design on their invitations. And I made bunting for them, personalised bunting. All of their guests signed the bunting and we used that as one of the wrapping cords, so that not only did they have the best wishes of everybody there, but their love and their positive thoughts for the couple were bound into the commitments they were making to each other. There are lots of other rituals, some of which you may have come across, things like the unity sand ceremony, where you have 2 or more colours of sand that are poured into a vessel, taking it in turns, so they make a unique pattern, a unique design in that vessel. And the symbolism of it is that there are 2 unique individuals that stand completely fine on their own, pour them together and they create something that can't be replicated. And if you try to pull apart those grains of sand, you'd never be able to do so. And that's reflecting your unity as a couple. There's a unity candle ceremony, which quite often appeals to people as candles can be very symbolic. And again, this can be a great one to include other members of the family in. So you may have the flame that's passed on down the generations from grandparents to parents to the couple that are getting married. And those flames from 2 individual candles, people that stand perfectly fine on their own and independently, those flames are brought together and create a bigger light, more of an impact on your environment and a unique commitment that you're making to each other. That can be a fantastic way of involving other members of the family. There are a million and one other rituals that I can include. The gin ceremony is particularly of the moment, I think, as we're getting increasing numbers of flavoured gin. Again, it's a unity form of ceremony, so each member of the couple, each one of the couple chooses a gin that reflects them. So some might go for something very fruity, somebody else might go for something clean and crisp and traditional. So a gin that represents them as per their personalities, if you like. You pour those two gins together in a drinking vessel. So it could be a Scottish quich, which is a double-handed Scottish loving cup, or it could be a gin tumbler. There are lots of options on what you pour it into. But again, the symbolism of it is two things that are perfectly fine on their own, that work absolutely fine on their own. Bring them together and you create something unique that can't be replicated. And then the couple both sip from that drink, that unique drink, which is marking their commitment to each other. In days before COVID, quite often we'd send this drink then around everyone that's there as the guests. At this point in time, we would probably have to do individual little shots of it, I think, to be able to make people feel more comfortable. Any of the rituals that I do get written and worked on to reflect that particular couple. So again, it's not a cut and paste ritual. This is the wording for this. This is what it means. Actually, how is it relevant to that couple? What is the meaning for that couple? That's what's important about your wedding day, that everything reflects you as a couple. It's important that we know why you're deciding to get married at this point. These days, you don't have to. There are lots of options and different things that you can do to mark a partnership, if you like. You don't have to get married. So the fact that you're making that commitment to each other, there's a reason why it's important for you to do that. So it's great to be able to have that focus. I work with couples to create unique wedding vows as well. Sometimes these are written entirely by the couple. Sometimes they come up with some ideas and I work with them. Sometimes we do it all together, or sometimes I do it on their behalf, working with words that they've given me. Your vows form the bedrock of your married life together. This is what you're forming your foundation as you go forward. This is the thing that you come back to in years in the future, when life maybe isn't as joyful as it is on your wedding day, and you remind yourselves of what it is that you've committed to each other. What are those promises, and what's important in your relationship? So it's lovely. In fact, it's really important that you have vows that reflect you as a couple and the commitment that you are making, not that somebody else is deciding that you're making, or that is generally a nice thing to say. What are you making? What commitment are you making to each other? I can help you to create vows that reflect you and your relationship. Increasingly, couples are wanting to get married outside. I think we see an awful lot on television or in films, particularly made in the States, where the laws are different, of people getting married outside or in their gardens or in unlicensed venues. And I can work with couples to do this. So for the most part, couples that work with me, because my ceremonies aren't legal, will do a legal ceremony with the registrars at a separate point. So, and that will normally be what's classed as a 2x2. So the couple themselves and two witnesses, a basic ceremony which covers all of the legal aspects that you need to do. And then I work with my couples to create a ceremony that is completely reflective of them and is unique to them. Nobody else will ever have those words. Nobody else will ever be saying exactly what you're saying to each other. And that for me is an important thing for my couples. It's a very brief outline there of some of the things that a celebrant can do for your wedding day. I love talking to people about weddings. I love explaining more about what I do, but I'm aware of the fact that you may not want to listen to it at this point. By all means, have a look at my Facebook page, which is Create Ceremonies. Have a look at my website, www.createceremonies.co.uk. Give me a shout, give me a call. I'm more than happy to explain about what I do, to find about your ideas and see how I can help you to have the wedding day that you deserve and that you really want. Glen Afon is a fantastic venue. If you're thinking about having your wedding day there, in any of the spaces that they've got, the staff there are fantastic and will take great care of you. It's one of my favourite places to go to conduct a ceremony. I've been working there as a registrar, which I was previously, and now as a celebrant, and their coffee is fantastic. But that's not, of course, the only reason I like going there. The team are brilliant. They'll support you to have the day that you want, that really reflects you, whatever that is, and whichever venue within the building or outside your choosing. So please, if you'd like to use a celebrant, or if you want to find out more, please give me a shout, and have a fantastic wedding day at the Glen Afon House Hotel.